Like I've shared with you, even if you don't work with us this year or you never work with us, I still want to be able to help. Okay. And let's go ahead and get this rolling here. Now, if you're joining me live and if you have joined me in the past few days here, I just want to thank you. Or even if you're just watching the replay of this, thanks for being here with me. Now, today is about tying together everything that we've covered in the last few days here, okay? This is about making 2026 your best year yet. Now, I encourage you, go ahead, grab a pen and paper, okay? Take notes, write this stuff down. Keep in mind that this is one of these deals, like anything. You get out of it what you put in. If you just kind of click on, oh yeah, that's kind of interesting, maybe I'll come back to it. No, you won't. You will not, okay? You're too busy. You got too many other things grabbing for your attention. Grab a pen and paper, take notes, take this seriously if you want to make these changes, okay? Because I certainly want to help you make these changes this new year. Now, look, over the last few days, I've shared quite a few ladies with you, okay? And these are women of different ages. These are women of different schedules. All right. These are women with different starting points, right? Many struggling with low energy, frustrated with food, some dealing with injuries, stress, kids, work, or all of it at once sometimes. But what you've seen here is these ladies transforming their bodies, okay, and transforming their energy, their confidence, their relationship with food, and their quality of life, okay? And they're not doing anything extreme. They're not living in the gym. They're not following crazy restrictive diets. They're following a realistic system that fits their life, okay? Now, if that's something that you want, which you probably do, we still have 3 spots left for coaching, okay? Now, if you're watching this live, I've got a special offer for you, okay? We are going to give you an additional discount, plus I want to offer you the option to get started without anything out of pocket, okay? If what you hear today sounds helpful, and you want to unlock the energy and confidence of your 20s, again, without any crazy diets, without spending your whole life in the gym or grinding yourself down doing endless cardio and buying all these stupid supplements and don't do anything, or turning your entire life upside down, okay? I want you to comment 2026 below, or you can click the link in the comments and you can book a confidence call with me personally, okay? The founder and head coach of the Fit Woman Formula. And what I'll personally walk you through here is our exact coaching process. We'll get clear on what's not working for you, where you're at right now, where you want to go, most importantly, who it is you want to become. And then I'm going to bridge the gap for you. I'm going to show you how to actually get there. And we'll see if this is a good fit to work together. And if it is, I'll lay out all the details for you. Now, I want to jump right into this. Let's start bringing all this together. Now, just a quick recap of what we've covered over the last few days here, okay? And none of this has been random, by the way, all right? Day 1, what did we talk about? Why most plans fail women in the new year. Day 2, we talked about what eating right actually means and how freedom with your food works, okay? Day 3, we talked about energy and why making that the priority changes absolutely anything. And then on day 4, we talked about exercise and why more isn't better, okay, especially for women over 35. Each piece that I've covered matters, but none of them work on their own, okay? All of these pillars, if you will, have to work together. And what I've been teaching you this week are the pillars behind our program. This is what makes up what we call our metabolic momentum method, okay? And it's the driving force behind the results that the women that we work with are actually getting. We're talking about food freedom. We're talking about energy maintenance. We're talking about efficient and effective exercise. So let me show you what I mean here, okay? Let's start off by talking a little bit about freedom with your food, okay? Now, food freedom doesn't mean eating whatever you want with no structure. I think you know that already. But what you probably don't understand is that this requires flexibility. Okay? A diet that doesn't bend will break. Okay? A diet that doesn't bend will break. Sustainability is key. Why? That's something that you hear about a lot. Sustainability. Why? Well, because if it's making your life miserable, you're going to be miserable. You're not going to be able to eat any good foods that you enjoy. That's an obvious one. But most importantly, or big picture, you're not going to stick with it. Okay? If what you are trying to do falls apart in a very short period of time, or you feel like you're just holding on for dear life, trying to get through it, that's a phase. That's not a plan. That's certainly not a lifestyle change. It's not something that's going to allow you to lose the weight or make all these other changes like your energy and confidence and everything else that you want to have, and keep it. And keep it. Okay? And again, who cares how much weight you lost if you gain it right back later on down the line? We need you to lose the weight and keep it off for life. So you need something that's flexible. Now, I want to be clear with you on this one, okay? And this is where, people get upset with me, okay? And I get ugly messages and stuff like that, but that's okay. I can handle it. I know what I'm talking about here because this is what the research says, and this is what a decade plus worth of anecdotal evidence in coaching hundreds of women over 35 has shown me, okay? And it's been my personal experience in losing almost 100 pounds, okay? These foods are not the problem, okay? Burger, pizza, ice cream, these foods are not the problem. You really need to understand the numbers behind your food, okay? I hear so many ladies, and if this is you, we need to chat, okay? So many ladies tell me, I eat healthy. Very vague. No numbers associated with that, okay? And what you think is healthy isn't always what drives results. Here are two very good examples of that, okay? Number one, this looks healthy. I mean, really, this thing is beautiful here. This acai bowl, right? Acai berry bowl, okay? But here's the issue. Now, am I saying that this is bad or that you shouldn't eat this? No, okay? But just like, guess what? Something from a fast food restaurant or a convenience food or something that is easy to pick up on the go because you're going to need those sometimes. This stuff isn't bad either, okay? And if you want to lose body fat, you need to be clear about the numbers behind your food because here's a good example. This guy is going to give you about 800 calories and typically not a ton of protein. Over here, you can have 2 of these, okay? Save yourself almost 300 calories and get double the protein. This would be the much better choice. As your coach, I would move you towards this over this, okay? And am I saying that you should eat fast food all the time? No, I'm not. You know that. You know that. People want to get into extremes. Oh, he's saying eat garbage all the time. I'm not saying that. You need to focus on primarily whole nutritious foods. That's not anything you don't know. Let's bring some common sense into this equation here. Okay? But you need to be focused on the numbers. The numbers are what are going to drive the results that you're not currently getting. Let's look at another one. This is a good one. Might seem extreme, but not that crazy. Okay? This is pretty common. Okay? Smoothie King. A 1,300 calorie smoothie. All right? What could you get instead of this? You could get 3 friggin' McDonald's cheeseburgers. Okay? Now look, again, there's a lot of other choices you could make besides this that are going to be more filling like this, that are going to give you more protein like this. Okay? Now, again, am I saying you should just be eating fast food to get great results? No. Okay? But you also need to consider that you need some flexibility. And if you feel like you're constantly going on and off a plan, okay, if you feel like you can't go to birthday parties, you can't do date nights, you can't go on vacation without going off the plan and then feeling guilty afterwards, what you're doing is a problem. What you've been trying is a problem. We need to look at it a different way. And again, what drives results? The numbers. The numbers drive results. okay? And so what we're really talking about here is what's known as a calorie deficit, okay? You are taking in less calories than your body is burning. That is what matters most here. And you don't need to be perfect with it. And you certainly don't need restriction. That's a big part of your problem right now. What you need is consistency. And when you understand this, you start fueling your body the right way, because it's not just about eating less. You stop restricting, and food stops controlling you, and you start getting the results that you deserve. Okay? Now, energy maintenance, another one of our pillars, okay, and really part of the foundation of our program, a very important part of the metabolic momentum method. This is what allows you to stick with the food. Okay? Why? Well, when your energy is high, you're feeling good. Okay? Your energy is protected. Your cravings calm down. Okay? Planning feels easier. How many of you ladies struggle with planning? I know you are, because I hear it every single day, right? And now consistency becomes possible. So energy is not just a bonus. You know, I think so many ladies have it in their mind, and look, no judgment around this. I thought the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to lose this weight, and then I'm going to start feeling better. No. Let's flip it around. You need to start feeling better first. The weight loss and everything else will follow. Okay? Put your energy first. It is the foundation. Now, the other pillar that we went over is what's called E3, or efficient and effective exercise. This is where a lot of women go wrong. I would say the biggest mistake here is putting your exercise first. Now, I don't want you to confuse that with the fact that, of course, exercise and movement are important. They certainly play a role in the physical results that you're getting. You know, they help you to get strong. They help you to tone up. They help with longevity. They help with general health. They help with mental health. Okay? Things like bone density you need to be thinking about. Things like blood markers. Okay? All right? Now, so putting the exercise first is a mistake, for sure, in terms of weight loss, in terms of transforming your body. The food needs to be the issue. But here are a few of the biggest mistakes that I see. Too much variation. Okay? No plan. No tracking what you're doing. Okay? You're not tracking any of the weights that you're doing, the exercises that you're doing, which means that there's no progressive overload. Very important term. We talked about this. What does that mean? It means you walk into the gym, you know exactly what you're going to do, and you're doing more sets, more reps, more weight over time. Okay? Now, inside our program, we solve all these problems for you. We make this very simple for you, and we do it through the Fit Woman Formula app. Okay? This is a guide. The women that we work with, they're not going into the gym guessing. They're not just going, oh, well, maybe I'll do some legs. Maybe I'll do some arm stuff. And God, I don't even know what weight to do. I guess this feels good. No idea. What kind of results do you think that's getting you? Okay. The ladies we work with know exactly what they're doing when they train. What exercises, what weight, how to progress that weight. Okay. This eliminates guesswork and wasted effort. Your time is your most valuable what? Your time is your most valuable commodity. It's the most valuable thing that you have. Okay? This ensures that your training is actually effective. It's not just tiring, okay? You're getting the results. And again, if you're like most of the women we work with, you're probably thinking, maybe I don't have time right now. It's a funny thing what happens, okay? Because again, a big part of what we're doing is helping women to plan better week to week and manage their time better so that they can manage their health better and get these results, okay? And you might be thinking, I don't have time. Now look, I don't want to be dismissive or sound like I'm mansplaining here, okay? That's not my job. My job is to help get you results. And what I help women see is once they figure out that they have a more approachable plan and they can actually get moving, which I'm going to talk about in a moment here, okay? Then you start to see, oh wow, I have more time than I thought, because I'm not doing this long list of things that I thought I needed to do, or maybe I tried back in my 20s that doesn't fit in this phase of my life, this season. Okay. I've got something that's simple where I can get started. And I see that once I keep it simple and I've got something that's reasonable and approachable, wow, this feels a lot more simple. I do have time. Okay. But your time is precious. It's very valuable. We need to make sure that when you're getting in the gym, you're getting the most out of it. Okay. You're not just wasting it and spinning your wheels. All right. Now, why this approach feels counterintuitive and why this might feel backward at first, a lot of what we're talking about here. Let me be clear. It's not that you don't need to do any work. Okay? It's that more is not better. Please listen to me when I say this. If you get one thing out of this whole deal here, more is not better. The harder you push, the more intense things get. Okay? The more your body starts working against you, especially at this stage of life. You know, how many of you ladies right now feel like your body is just working against you? It's not cooperating. Okay, this is part of the reason why. Okay? Less done well, done smart, done the right way, done effectively and efficiently produces better results. Not just more. Okay? Now, what we need to talk about here, because for a lot of you ladies, again, getting started is the trouble. How do I build momentum? Momentum doesn't come from motivation, okay? It comes from having a plan that you can start and stick with. If past years didn't go the way that you hoped, it's likely because you tried too much too fast, okay? Too many rules, too many steps, too much pressure from day one. Let's think about it. What do you hear a lot of the times? You go and maybe you've worked with a coach before. You've paid for a plan or program before. And they say, okay, day one, here's your calorie goal. Here's the foods you can and can't eat. Drink a gallon of water. This many steps. You're going to do this hour-long workout every single day. Okay? And how sustainable is that? It's not. Gradual progression. Okay, one of the other, along with energy maintenance, underlying elements that create the foundation of our program and the foundation of the metabolic momentum method. Super important. It really matters here. Okay? This is how this becomes a lifestyle. We don't want this to be a plan. We don't want this to be a phase. This is not something you're grinding through just to drop a size or lose a few pounds, and then once you realize that, oh yeah, I like bread, then everything unravels. Or once you realize that you can't get up at the crack of dawn every single morning, or maybe your spouse, your partner actually would like seeing you sometimes, right? Or you've realized that you're in such a bad mood when you're trying to stick to this plan or the restrictive diet, then no one wants to be around you, and you see it. Okay? And I get that. I've been there myself. You know, I've shared about this before, that my wife Elizabeth, you know, when I was really struggling with this, okay, I would be really trying to stay on track the best I could. This was near the beginning of my weight loss journey, okay? And she would say, well, we're going to go get Mexican food or something like that. I would almost get upset. I would almost get upset because I knew what was about to happen. I was about to go off of my plan. My plan could not accommodate that. And I knew that I was probably going to go overboard because I didn't know how to control myself around these foods. Trying to control it, the restriction, is really what is at the crux of all this. Again, going back to what I shared earlier, a diet that doesn't bend will break. You need something that becomes, this is just how I live. This is just my lifestyle. If you're watching this, I want to hear from you. Does this make any sense at all? Does this make any sense what I'm saying? I want you to comment below. And again, if you have any questions, drop those in the comments. I'm happy to answer them for you. So here's what it really takes to stick with it. You know, sticking with it isn't about perfect. It's about having a plan that works on hard days, on hard weeks. Okay? A plan that adjusts instead of forcing you to start over. Support. Support is really important here. It matters a lot more than most women realize. You know, I'm not here to be a drill sergeant for these ladies. You know, I think that's what most women and maybe you think they need. I heard that so many times over the years. You know, when I first couple years of coaching, I would hear a lot. I still hear it sometimes now, but really then, you know, I started to notice what was happening. Ladies would say, I just need someone to tell me what I'm doing wrong and kind of, you know, snap me out of it. Yell at me a little bit, okay? Knock the candy bar out of my hand. You're doing a bad job. Okay? No, it's not what you need, okay? A big part of my job, overwhelmingly, is helping women to see that they're actually doing a good job. Because stress can make consistency feel like failure, okay? And when you think you're failing, guess what? That's when people quit. Stress, a lot going on in your life, which, by the way, it will always be that way. Stop waiting for the perfect time to get started with something like this. It'll never come. You'll never get started. You need something that works with your life, doesn't take it over, okay? So stop waiting for that perfect time, ladies. The time is now. You're not going to keep getting opportunities to do this. But stress and everything going on in your life, they create a smoke screen to being able to see that, hey, you're actually doing a pretty good job. This is why tracking habits, a big part of what we're doing inside the Fit Woman formula, is so important. Because it gives you the facts versus the feelings. So that's what we're focused on. We're focused on reality. We're focused on data, not emotion. It's not that your emotions are bad. It's not that we don't care. It's not that I'm not listening to what these ladies have to say or that I'm not there to support them. What I'm getting them to see is reality. Okay? Because guess what? Even sometimes when it feels hard and it feels like you're not making progress, a lot of the times progress is still happening. I see that every single week. Every single week. You know, I'll have one of our ladies reach out to me or drop a comment in our community saying they need a little bit of help. Okay, kind of raise their hand, and we make it really easy to do that, by the way. Being able to reach out for help is super important. So we create a lot of simple, low barrier avenues for you to get support. But I'll have someone reach out and, you know, they'll say, kids were sick. That's a common one. Okay, prepare yourself for that. That's going to happen if you don't already know. These kids are spreaders, right? One gets sick and then the whole family gets sick. Kids are sick. Things are thrown off this week. Okay, and I'll say, well, what were your wins? What went well? Nothing. Okay, cool. Let's go back into our app for a moment here. I see that you did a couple workouts. See that you got some movement in. See that you got a good amount of water in. This is where the data and the facts are so important. This is how you get momentum and keep your motivation. And so many times, what will we see? These ladies feel like they're struggling and they're screwing up, and maybe even they're on the brink of failure is what they're thinking. And the reality is they're doing a pretty good job. They're holding it together. They're consistent, exactly what we need them to be doing. And sometimes beyond that, what I see is they'll do their updates, okay, the weight, measurements, progress photos, things like that. And there's some big changes. And they're thinking that things are going so poorly, they haven't even gone in to look at them. Okay? Stress, life can create a smokescreen to the reality of what's going on. So you don't need a drill sergeant. You need support. You need someone that's not going to play a spin game with you, but help you to reframe all of this. Okay? So that's the deal with all of this. Now, I'm going to bring it back again to a few more ladies that I've shared with you over this past week. Okay? Just a handful of the hundreds of women that we've helped. Okay? So ladies like Donna, okay, was struggling with chronic health issues like fibromyalgia. Okay? Dropped over 30 inches in 2 sizes. She has a special needs daughter. Okay, she said, I'm becoming a role model for my daughter. All right? Tiffany. Okay, so these are all ladies of different ages, different lives, different challenges, all getting results because this system meets them where they're at as an individual. for what they need, and it's not overwhelming. They can get started and make the changes. Now, I was sharing about Tiffany in her 50s, okay? So if you're thinking perimenopause or menopause is holding you back, think again, all right? She was lifting 5 times a week along with doing cardio. She was working her ass off, okay? But she still lost 10 pounds, 25 inches, and 2 sizes. Great example here of how the scale isn't the end-all be-all, okay? Because this looks like a lot more than 10 pounds. And you wouldn't think that only losing 10 pounds would equate to 2 sizes and this type of change in your body composition. But it absolutely can, okay? Similarly, Brittany, mom of 2. Okay, she was doing a ton of beach body workouts, a ton of these HIIT workouts, right? That just grind you into the ground, make you feel like shit, okay? She lost 30 pounds, 37 inches, and 3 sizes. And what did she say? I'm a new person, for sure. Another great example along the lines of someone that was doing way more than they needed to be. Again, if you're not getting the gist of this, less is more. You need something you can be consistent with, that you can get started, you can stay started. But is a smarter approach. Is not just doing more for the sake of more. Okay, so Ashley, as you can tell, she's a little bit younger. But she was experiencing something that a lot of ladies do, okay? Kind of cycling back and forth between under-eating and overeating. She was doing Pilates, sometimes like these intense types of Pilates where it's almost like HIIT sessions, 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, we stopped all that. Okay, we kind of put Pilates on the back burner, made that more of an accessory, empowered her to get into the gym, which is one of my favorite things. Okay, not a necessity, not necessary, but when the opportunity arises, that's what we do. And her whole thing was just saying, it can't be this simple. It can't possibly be this simple. It is this simple. It is this simple, okay? None of this is an accident. This is the process. This is the system. This is the Fit Woman formula. So if you want help making progress you can actually stick with in 2026, if you want freedom with your food, you want better energy, you want workouts that work for you, okay, instead of working against your body, and you want to drop 2+ sizes in the next 12 weeks without turning your life upside down, okay, right now we've got 3 coaching spots available. You can comment down below 2026, or you can click the link in the comments, and you can book a call with me personally, the founder and head coach of the Fit Woman Formula, and I will walk you through our exact coaching process, okay? Again, we're going to figure out what's going on, what's holding you back, what's working, what's not working. We're going to get really clear on where you want to go. Specifically, who is you 2.0? Not just weight loss. How does this woman want to be showing up in her life? How does she want to be showing up as a mom, as a partner, in her career, socially? How does she want to show up? We need to get really clear about that. And most of you ladies are not clear about that. You just think I want to lose 10 or 20 pounds or whatever. That's surface level. We need to take it deeper than that. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll connect the 2 points, A and B. Where you are, where you want to go. Okay? And if it's a mutual fit, it's a good fit for you, and it's a good fit for us, I'll invite you into the program. Now, right now, like I said, I'm going to extend a special offer if you're watching this. Okay? You're going to get an additional discount for getting started, okay, taking action. But on top of that, you have the opportunity to get started without any money, anything out of pocket, okay? You still have to invest in yourself. This isn't free, but this allows you to get started, okay? So this doesn't have to be another year of starting over, okay? This can be the year that things finally click, all right? If this makes sense, you like what you hear here, all right? You want less of the BS that you've been doing year after year. You want more results because guess what? You deserve it. Okay. Comment 2026 below, all right, or click the link, and I'll send the info over to you, and we'll find a time to chat. So, ladies, I appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll get back to them. I'm wishing you all the best, a happy, healthy 2026. If there's anything I can ever do to reach out, anything I can ever do to help, reach out, and I'll do my best. I'll talk to you soon.